law clerk some charges. Okay. Just standard jury charges from a murder case that we tried and called him before Judge Bonds. Those were his standard charges. The only thing, obviously, that may not apply is if defendant takes the stand, failure to testify is in there.
Thank you very much. You copied counsel with him,
I did.
assume? Okay.
I'll look at them. I haven't seen them this morning yet.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that. We'll get maybe an early start at some point on that.
Okay.
Oh, good. Well, bring them in, please. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Good morning. Everyone rested and ready to go? And I see some coats and things. Everybody ready for the air conditioning to turn on? All right, good. And my instructions from a couple of days ago with regard to discussing the case with anyone, has everyone complied with those instructions? Has anyone tried to contact any of you with regard to this case? Okay, thank you so much. All right then, let us begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Shauna Tozier.
From the testimony about the give the court in this trial shall be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Take a seat and with the stand. State your name again for the record. Very last.
Shauna Mullen, M-U-L-L-E-N.
Good morning, Deputy Mullen.
Good morning.
Since 2019, have you been married?
I have.
Okay, and so your maiden name was what?
My previous married name was Tozier.
Okay, previous. I apologize, but if we say Tozier, we're talking about you, right?
Yep.
Okay. Who do you work for?
Colleton County Sheriff's Office.
And who did you work for in January of 2019?
Colleton County Sheriff's Office.
Did you take a break from Colleton in between there?
I did.
All right. Did you move away?
I did.
All right. And when did you come back to Colleton?
August of 2023.
When you were working for Colleton in January of 2019, what was your position?
I was an investigator.
And what was your role in the investigation against Craig Lewis?
I assisted with the investigation, collecting evidence, interviews.
On January 17th of 2019, where did you respond?
I responded to the hospital first.
All right, to what sort of call?
It came out as a burn patient from a possible domestic situation.
What were your observations once you got to the hospital?
The patient was already prepared to be flown out. She was wrapped. The only thing that was visible was her feet and her hair area. I could see that it was like singed.
Okay. Was Craig Lewis there?
He was not.
Who was there?
Her daughter, Leanne.
All right, did you speak to her?
I did.
What did you do after the hospital?
I went to the house on Wade Hampton.
All right, was that 273 Wade Hampton?
It was.
And was Craig Lewis there?
He was.
All right, what did you observe when you got to Wade Hampton?
Other investigators on scene already had him detained.
And what did you do after that?
I advised him of his Miranda rights.
Okay, how did you do that?
I read it from a card.
And did he state anything as afterward?
He did.
Okay. And feel free to refer to your report, of course.
After I advised him of his Miranda rights, the first thing that Lewis stated was that he did not do anything to his wife.
Okay. Did you ask him anything after that?
Lewis stated that that his wife was trying to start the heater when her pant legs caught on fire. When I asked Lewis what he did next, he did not have an answer. I asked Lewis how he attempted to put his wife's pant legs out, and he was like, "What do you mean?" I asked Lewis how he got the fire out, and Lewis stopped talking.
Was that the extent of your conversation with Mr. Lewis?
It was.
Okay. At some point, did officers come back with a search warrant?
They did.
Did you assist in execution of that search warrant?
I did.
All right, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as states 71, sorry, let me do 70 first, and 71, and ask if you can identify what's contained in these packages. This is 70, States Exhibit 70, and this is for identification purposes only at this time.
Item number 9, placard 15, 16, and 17. It's swabs.
All right, are those swabs that you took from those placard numbers?
They are.
All right, and what were they swabs of?
Blood. What I thought to be blood at the time.
Okay. And you took those swabs?
I did.
All right. And again, for identification purposes, States Exhibit 71. Can you identify this?
Appears to be a swab as well.
All right.
From placard 28.
All right. I'm gonna hand you what's been entered as states 36, 37, 38, and 39, and ask if these are the bloody footprints from which you took those swabs. And then the last one is not a footprint, but can you describe what that is?
It is like the entertainment center, like the shelving that was to the right side of the television.
Okay.
And yes, they are where I took the blood swabs from.
Okay. And the placard numbers indicate the same as what appeared on those bags that you just identified?
They did.
All right. What sort of training do you have? Do you have any crime scene training?
I do. I went to college for forensic science and crime scene investigation.
All right. Can you just describe what sort of classes and training you have in crime scene?
Just basic, like collection, processing. We did a little bit of like blood trace, nothing like too extensive. Interviews and interrogation.
All right. I'm going to put up State's Exhibit 33. This should lighten up a little bit more. But Deputy Mullen, do you recognize what's contained in State's Exhibit 33?
It looks like the doors of the fireplace from inside the home.
And can you describe your observations regarding the doors of the fireplace?
There's burnt residue on the front, both doors.
All right, and are you talking about these black marks?
Yes.
What did that indicate to you?
That indicates that the fireplace doors were closed at the time that the victim was on fire.
Okay.
The clothing falling off of her from the fire looks like it splattered down onto it.
Objection. The state has not established that this witness is an expert as it relates to residue or placement of this crime scene. She just said that she was an investigator at that particular time, and simply that. She can only say what she saw. She drew a conclusion, and that has not been established that she has the ability to do so.
Without issuing an opinion, I think she can testify to her observations regarding the outside.
I agree with that, but she's strayed into opinion of things.
So you noticed the burn debris on the outside.
That's correct.
Okay. States 25. What is this a picture of?
The fireplace with the door open.
Did you look at the inside of those doors?
I did.
All right. What did you notice about the inside of the doors?
There was none of the residue on the inside.
All right. The next day, January 18th, what did you do that day?
On the 18th, I went to 595 Kansas City Road to make contact with an individual there.
Okay. Whose residence is Kansas City Road?
It was also Craig Lewis's residence.
What did you see when you got there?
There was a burn pit in the front that was still burning, and there was a trailer with like cotton and like charred substance on it.
Okay. Eventually was a search warrant gotten for that residence?
It was.
Were certain items collected from that residence?
There were.
What sort of items were collected?
There was the trailer, the items on the trailer. I believe there was stuff from the fire that was collected.
Okay. All right, I'm going to show you what's been entered as State's Exhibit 55 and ask if this is the trailer that you're referring to.
It is.
55, it's been entered. Yeah, just show these. All right, so trailer located at Kansas City. States 73, 74, and 75 are pictures of what?
The deck of the trailer and the items on the trailer.
And those were items that were collected from the trailer?
I believe so.
Okay. And those consisted of what?
It appeared to be cotton and some burnt wood, I believe is what it was.
Finally, I'm showing you States 54. Is this one of the burn pits that you saw
It is.
and collected items from?
It is.
Now let me ask you, Deputy Mullen, were any of the items from Kansas City ever sent off to SLED for testing?
They were not.
Okay. They were not.
Okay.
Was there a particular reason?
We could not 100% say they were the items that came from the Wade Hampton house. They appeared to be, but then it was found the next day, so we could not establish what had happened between the time of the incident and the time that we found them on Kansas City.
Okay. Did you ever, between either one of the search warrants that were executed, did you ever find any burned clothing of Terry's?
We did not.
All right. That's all I have. Please answer any questions that Ms. Bright Matthews may have for you.
May it please the court. It's hard to call you Miss Mullen.
That's
so
okay.
Forgive me if I just say Shauna.
No problem.
At the time that you arrived at the scene, meaning on Wade Hampton Avenue, were you a ranking officer?
I was an investigator.
And is that, you weren't a lieutenant, you weren't a
I'm sorry.
sergeant, and you weren't a captain or a major, isn't that right?
I was maybe a corporal. I don't remember what I was at the time.
Okay. And when you arrived, how many officers were there?
A few. I
What-
can't say for certain.
You'd already gone to the hospital.
I did.
And is it fair to say there was at least 7 or 8 officers there?
I couldn't tell you for certain.
More than 4 or less than 4?
Probably more than 4, I would think.
Okay. Who can you remember as already being there when you got there?
I remember Eubanks, Marcarella, Stallings, David
Long?
Yes, David Long, sorry. Varnado. I believe Padgett was there as well.
Okay.
That's all I remember being there.
If my count's right, we're at 6. 6 officers were there.
Yes,
And was Craig Lewis already placed in handcuffs?
he was.
Was he seated in a white chair?
I don't know.
Where was he when you got there?
I don't remember where he was exactly.
You don't?
I don't.
Where was he when you read his Miranda rights to him?
In front of me. That's. I don't
Standing,
remember.
sitting, laying down on the ground? Were you inside the house, outside of the
I know
house?
we were outside by
Okay.
the carport area.
Okay, and you don't remember anything else other than that?
I don't remember if he was standing or sitting.
I think it's do you think it kind of odd that you, as the corporal, potentially, or investigator, have in your report that you read him the Miranda rights when David Long, who's your superior, was there first on the scene and had already said that he read him the Miranda rights?
Do I find it odd?
Yeah?
No,
Okay. But you did write a report,
I did.
and in your report you gave exactly what he said to you, correct?
I didn't quote it.
Okay. Did you have in your car the normal forms that you usually have where you advise a person of their Miranda and make them sign an initial and agree that they're going to provide a statement? Did you have that form with you?
No,
You don't keep that form with you?
I was not in my vehicle that day.
Okay. Was any officer of the other 6 people present there where they had the Miranda form so that my client could sign saying that he understood his rights and was still going to talk?
I can't testify to what they had.
Did you ask?
No,
Since you took the statement, you you read it from a card, and you were questioning him, did you ask, anybody got a form?
I did not ask.
Okay. Did anybody have a
A
body
camera?
camera? Body cam.
No,
Did you have your physical camera, phone, where you could have used your video on it?
I probably had my phone on me
Okay, and you keep it on you, don't you?
most times.
Okay. You arrived at the scene at 3:15?
Somewhere around there, if that's what the call log says, then that's
No,
correct.
I'm reading from your report you just read to her.
Around 3:15, I responded to the hospital.
Okay, and you wrote this report pretty soon after this, so there's no reason to now say that you're not sure. 3:15 was when you got over to the house, at the hospital, excuse me.
It says around, so
Okay, I got
somewhere
it.
around there.
I got it, that's fine. Around 3:15, you arrived at the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you arrived at the hospital, you talked to the nurse first. Do you remember the name of the nurse?
I don't believe I talked to the nurse.
Okay. Do you remember what time it was, or did you tape the statement you received from anybody at the hospital? Any statements?
No,
Okay. Did you ask to look at the Miss Lewis?
she was laying wrapped next to me,
And how close did you get to Miss Lewis?
within a couple of feet probably.
Did you check out her feet?
They were untouched. Like
What does untouched mean?
They were unburned.
They were not burned.
correct.
Did you take a photograph of that?
No,
Did you ask anyone with the hospital whether or not you could take any swab of her skin to see if there was any accelerant on it?
I did not.
Did you talk to the doctor that was on duty, Dr. Fisher?
I don't believe I did.
Did anyone that went to the hospital ask the doctor what Miss Lewis told them happened?
I can't speak for what anyone else did.
Is it your testimony that you never talked to Nurse Bishop that came earlier to testify?
I don't remember speaking with her.
And isn't it fair that if you had, it would have been in your report?
I would assume it would be.
Okay. And when you left the hospital, did you believe in your investigative mode? Did you believe that you needed to preserve the video of Craig Lewis bringing his wife into the hospital? Did you believe a crime had been committed?
I believed that it was possible a crime had been committed.
And so, understanding your responsibilities as an investigator, did you put the hospital on notice that, hey, I need you to preserve the video all the way from the emergency room entrance, the parking lot, as well as Mr. Lewis coming in to the hospital? with
I
his
did
wife?
not.
Did you have this conversation or a conversation in reference to this with any of your superiors that were supposed to be supervising your investigation
Have what conversation with them?
about preserving evidence?
I don't believe I did.
Okay. How and what was your tone of voice when you asked Craig what happened?
I believe I was just monotone.
Just like you are today.
I believe so.
And you just said it in that tone when he said his wife was trying to start the heater when her pant legs caught on fire. Then you asked him, you tried to ask further, how he attempted to put his wife's pant legs out. And he said, "What you mean?" Did you respond?
I asked Lewis how he got the fire out.
And you responded in the same tone you're responding today?
I would imagine.
Okay. Did you see any blood on the bottom of Terry Lewis's foot at the hospital?
I don't recall if there was blood or not.
You said it was untouched and unwrapped.
They were unburned.
Thank you. Now, Shauna, there's been a lot of talk, Corporal Mullen, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that the department did not require that officers wear body-worn cameras. You did not have a body-worn camera that day.
I did not.
What capacity do you work with the Sheriff's Department today?
Today I'm a deputy.
You're a deputy, you're not an investigator anymore?
That's correct.
And to your knowledge, does the investigators or members of CID, do they wear body cams today in 2024?
We do.
And are they required? Now, deputies are required to. The CID?
I believe they do.
Okay. Now, back when you left the Sheriff Department for that, I think you stayed away 3 years?
Approximately.
You moved to New York.
I did.
And wouldn't you agree with me that when you were involved in an unfortunate officer-involved shooting where someone died, it would have helped if you had had a body-worn camera, wouldn't it, when SLED came knocking at your door?
I don't necessarily know if it would have helped.
It would have
I'll
exonerated.
object to relevance. at this point. I'm not sure what that has to do with the, whether or not Craig Lewis murdered his wife.
I am on cross, and this goes to the issue of the body-worn cameras and this officer's conduct and demeanor.
Officer conduct, unless it has to do with truthfulness, it would not be relevant.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the objection. Another unrelated incident, I mean, you can certainly ask whether, in general, is it better to have a video than not have a video, which I think is the point you're trying to make.
Was there video of that incident where you were involved?
Objection, Your Honor. We're still going down the road of some other incident that has nothing to do with Craig Lewis and the murder of Terry Lewis.
I will withdraw it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
The debris that we showed that was on the trailer. I'm going to show you Exhibit 55. It's a picture of the trailer. Did you collect the debris off the trailer?
I personally did not.
How many people went out to serve this warrant, search warrant?
I'm not sure.
Did you have the ability to collect, because it's not I expect the trailer should have debris on it, but how many people went out to execute this search warrant? Why didn't somebody just take the stuff off the trailer so that it could be examined?
They would have needed the search warrant to take the stuff from the trailer.
And you had a search warrant that next day, and you had the trailer there at the house, but instead you hauled the trailer away instead of taking the debris that needed to be examined away, didn't you?
I personally did not.
Well, who did?
I can't say for certain. I was not on scene.
And that trailer has been in the Sheriff's Department's custody since 2019, the day after this incident, and has not been examined by a SLED. No one has even fingerprinted, test substance on it, and you still have it. And you're here today, and it's not really relevant for anything other than to show cotton balls on it, isn't it?
What is your question?
Is it relevant? Is that trailer relevant to this case other than to say what you just said in direct examination, that it has cotton on it?
At the time, we believed that it moved the couch from the original crime scene.
And did it have the couch on the trailer when you seized the trailer?
It did not.
Court's indulgence. Was it your responsibility to preserve the 911 call?
It was not.
Did you attempt to speak to the person that called 911?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
While you were at the scene of Wade Hampton Avenue, did you go and speak to any of the neighbors about what you thought might have been a crime?
I did not.
Did you look for any cameras in the neighborhood?
I did not.
Thank you.
Redirect.
Would cameras in the neighborhood showed what occurred within 273 Wade Hampton Drive?
They would not.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Cameras would have shown whether or not Craig hurried his wife out of the house, took her and put her in the car, and whether he was trying to hurt her, wouldn't it have?
Objection, that would be conjecture. We don't know what cameras would have shown.
I am on cross, and Your Honor, she opened the door regarding the
I
camera.
think if you asked could rather than would, that might resolve the issue.
Cameras could have shown what happened as Craig and his wife entered the house, came out of the house to go to the hospital, couldn't it have?
They could have.
It could also have shown a cleanup that has been suggested by some of your other officers that Craig was taking part in, couldn't it have?
It could have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else related to the cameras?
No, Your Honor, I would ask that this witness be excused.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.